Today we're going to be talking about how to create a lead exchange. A lead exchange is really the next iteration or phase of your referral relationships. It's really taking them to the next level. If you haven't had a chance to listen to our training that we've done recently on referral partners, I'd highly recommend it for you. It'll definitely give you a good foundation for today's discussion. And even if you have heard it, it would be good to review it. But a lead exchange really helps you maximize those referral relationships. All of us probably have some type of referral relationships in one form or another. Now, a lot of us actually work with commercial real estate agents. That's just an example. And the commercial real estate agents have relationships with moving companies. And the moving companies actually work with furniture companies. And so there's these different disparate relationships out there who aren't necessarily connected. But oftentimes we're talking to the same types of customers, and even the exact same customer, and spending a lot of time and resources to get in front of those customers. And so what a lead exchange basically does is it connects the referral partners of our referral partners to each other in a single network, and essentially creates a much stronger opportunity for you to receive leads from multiple sources, especially if you're talking to the same types of clients. Now, there's three main types of lead exchanges. There's one which is geographically based, and this is where there's different individuals within a market that need to service customers outside of those markets. And so think of an IT service company or a cabling company that have customers with remote locations who would need service outside of their footprint, and they would be able to refer that out to a parallel company. Vertical-based lead exchanges are companies that work within a specific niche that cater to that niche and work together in servicing those companies. In a similar fashion, the expertise-based lead exchanges are groups of individuals who have complementary services but ultimately create a single solution together. Now, the best types of lead exchanges are both geographically based and both expertise-based. What that means is you should have a local group with different complementary services that can help each other, but also having parallel groups in different markets to have the same type of group and expertise in other markets. And so essentially the local market can fulfill all of the needs in that market, but if any of those members in that group need someone to help service a company in different markets, the parallel groups will be able to help them do that. And so it creates lead exchanges across borders and also across expertise. Now, when creating these groups, and we'll talk more about best practices here in a minute, but it's important to note that the members of the group really should have the same types of customers, and they should also avoid any type of overlap in terms of expertise. A few examples of members that should be part of these lead exchanges would be commercial loan officers or MSPs, direct reps, direct reps in terms of technology vendors or suppliers, furniture companies, venture capitalists, cabling companies, business consultants, architects, CRM providers, construction companies, commercial real estate agents, interior design companies, moving companies, painters, carpet companies, property managers, software vendors, or security services such as premise-based security. All of these companies could offer a very complementary service to each other and would be very valuable to this lead exchange. But in addition to offering just leads, lead exchanges also offer operational efficiencies. Over the past decade or so, we've seen a lot of different mergers and acquisitions take place within our industry. And the primary reason these companies come together is to consolidate resources, which ultimately saves money in economies of scale. And so a lot of these lead exchanges can progress towards not necessarily an actual merger, but a merger of resources. So each individual company may not be able to afford certain dedicated resources, such as sophisticated marketing, individual or organization, but as a whole, they could accomplish that. So a few examples of how you can consolidate some of these resources would be office space. so they could basically share an office space and help get a wholesale rate for that unit. Like we talked about with marketing campaigns, these companies could have a dedicated resource to going after customers, and since they talk to the same types of customers, one individual that was pursuing opportunities for the group as a whole would be able to bring opportunities to multiple organizations within the group. Also, from a customer support standpoint, local events, sharing best practices and ideas, sharing customer lists and projects, and these are probably just a short list, but there's lots of ways for them to consolidate resources and to really come together as a group. Now, when forming these groups, there's a few best practices. We've talked about the first one already, but avoiding solution overlaps is really important because you wanted to have a strong relationship. Also because if you're working with companies that try to do everything to everyone, you're really working with companies that don't do a very good job. You want to work with companies who have a niche play. Also, it's important to charge membership fees. You want people to take this seriously, and the only way they're going to do that is if they invest money. And the money should be used to help reinvest in those shared resources, whether it's marketing campaigns or office space, but that will help formalize these groups a lot stronger. Also, it's important to host regular meetings and outings to help create synergies between the different groups and share ideas in those informal environments. The sales efforts that you do as a group should be focused on one individual company at a time. So you would go out and acquire customers for the carpeting company one week, and then the next week you would focus on the commercial real estate agent. But ultimately, you would try to gather as many opportunities for each individual group from each campaign, but you would focus on one individual at a time. Also, it's important to standardize the relationships, make sure that there's a system in place for sharing referrals, to make sure that those handoffs are clean and that there's accountability and that everything is smooth in those transitions. The other important element here is a lot of companies offer referral fees or kickbacks or commissions in exchange for the referrals. Rather than paying those companies a referral fee, it's always a good idea to reinvest that. And so let's say, for instance, the carpeting company referred business to the painter. The painter could, rather than paying a referral fee back to the carpeting company, could introduce one of their other clients to the carpeting company and help pay for some of the services, which has a double advantage because it helps his relationship with that customer become stronger by offering that service, but also helps bring a new customer or client back to their to the carpeting company. So that's basically what a lead exchange is. It's basically, like we talked about in the beginning, it's connecting the referral partners of your referral partners together and allowing them to exchange leads freely among all the different members of the group. And the members of the group should really try to work together as a single unit by consolidating resources and bringing together different customer lists and campaigns and events. And ultimately what this does is it really creates a stronger synergy in relationships for those leads and referrals to transpire. And creating something like this really multiplies the opportunities to get referrals, because ultimately every single member, if they were just to bring one referral a month, that would bring a lot of business to each member of the group, because a lot of times, like we talked about in the beginning, there's opportunities where everyone's talking to the same type of client but with different angles.